November 30th, 2024. 7-minute editorial. Token discounts or real advocacy? What dentists truly need. Written by Bob D. Narrated by Cedric AI at 1.2x speed. TLDR. The ADA is piloting discounted membership pricing for group practices in Michigan and Connecticut, avoiding the term DSO to sidestep negative connotations. Organized dentistry is losing members because it has failed to provide true value, focusing on superficial perks like dues reductions and discounts rather than meaningful advocacy. Young dentists want job security, better education, and protection in the workplace, not token discounts. Appeasing DSOs and private equity weakens the profession. To rebuild trust and membership, organized dentistry must prioritize true insurance reform, revamp dental education, and fight for the autonomy of dentists and the integrity of the profession. Main article: the ADA Board of Trustees has approved a pilot program for Michigan and Connecticut to test a new pricing model for group practice memberships to the ADA. According to my sources, the board has been instructed to use the term group practices instead of DSO to avoid negative connotations. This pilot program will explore discounted membership rates for these so-called group practices. Organized dentistry is facing a significant decline in membership, with participation dropping from 80% to around 50%. Some believe this is due to the cost of dues, but the problem runs much deeper. At the California Dental Association House of Delegates, my friend Ed commented on the absurdity of debating a $100 reduction in dues when dentists spend that much weekly on coffee. I couldn't agree more. We don't need to reduce dues. We need to increase them. We are at war with insurance companies and third-party intrusions into our profession, and to win, we need a bigger war chest, not token discounts that do nothing to solve the real issues. Young dentists aren't joining organized dentistry because they don't see value in it, but the bigger problem for organized dentistry is defining that value. It feels as though leadership is lost and tone-deaf about what is important to dentists around the country, both young and old. Discounts on Mercedes-Benz leases and travel, establishing credit unions, disability and health insurance, or even continuing education offerings don't address their real needs. These perks are nice, but they don't move the needle much in the right direction. For example, we can all find a great rate from the local credit union in our county. The true value of organized dentistry lies in its ability to advocate for our profession and our patients. True advocacy means standing up against insurance companies and their lobbying power. When politicians who are constantly influenced by the insurance machine come to us with terrible agreements like the NCOIL agreement, we don't just agree to it as the best thing we could get now. We fight back. That fight and demonstrating real value is what moves the needle toward the 80% membership level. If you don't believe me, look at the American Medical Association and see how much product incentives they're offering their members. Not enough to prevent their membership from falling to 11% irrelevancy. I was talking to a very influential past ADA leader, and our thoughts were that the larger issue is the growing influence of private equity, PE. ADA staff appear resigned to PE's dominance, leading to flawed strategies like appeasing DSOs with group discounts for short-term membership gains. While this may boost numbers temporarily, it undermines private practices already hurt by DSOs negotiating favorable fees with insurers. It is important to discuss how long dentists stay in DSOs and their difficulties transitioning to private practice. Organized dentistry needs to focus on these issues instead of pursuing appeasement strategies that weaken the profession. Our opposition to this action also stems from the fact that you are now taking money from non-members, particularly corporations. Once you accept funding from these entities, you become financially dependent on them, and any hint of them pulling that support can put you in a precarious position. Whether or not you realize it, this creates an obligation to their interests. This is the oldest rule of lobbying and buying influence. You may not acknowledge it, it may not be direct, but it is always there. I've heard of an instance where an insurance company, which heavily donated to the foundation of a state organization, the charitable arm of that organization, threatened to pull its support if a dental loss ratio legislation was passed. This kind of pressure influenced the decision-making process and highlights the dangers of relying on external funding. This dependency is the biggest reason we oppose this pilot program. It compromises the independence and integrity of organized dentistry. The most concerning aspect of these dues reduction pilots is the reasoning behind them and their root causes. In some instances, organizations have lost members because DSOs have stopped covering membership fees for their employees. This decline in income has created a snowball effect, prompting efforts to attract DSO-affiliated dentists back into the fold. While this approach might yield short-term gains, it is ultimately misguided and likely to backfire. Appeasing DSOs undermines the core mission of organized dentistry and diminishes its value to private practitioners. We agree that all dentists, particularly those employed by DSOs, deserve representation. However, financial incentives should target individual dentists rather than rewarding large organizations. By focusing on benefits like tax savings and discounts based on years since graduation, combined with genuine advocacy, we can attract and retain members without compromising the integrity of organized dentistry. Young dentists want job security, better education at dental schools, and protection in the workplace. They aspire to achieve the same independence and autonomy we have enjoyed, but the system as it stands is failing them. Instead of wasting time on dues reductions, organized dentistry should focus on true insurance reform, revamping dental school accreditation to improve education, and offering meaningful support as young dentists transition from DSOs into private practice. These are the changes that will demonstrate real value, not $200 off yearly dues. Spending $3 on coffee a day amounts to $1,100 a year. Do you really think they care about $200? It's astounding how leadership and the agenda-driven data collectors, who earn in excess of $400,000 annually, fail to grasp common sense logic or learn from the historical data and trends of the American Medical Association. Graduates today enter the profession with over $500,000 in debt, yet many leave dental school with minimal clinical experience and little preparation for private practice. It's no wonder they turn to DSOs for training, only to find themselves trapped in unsustainable employee roles for 18 to 24 months before seeking alternatives. During this time, organized dentistry must provide them with services that support their growth and aspirations. This is how we build a better future for organized dentistry, by showing young dentists that we are fighting for them. We need to preserve the autonomy of private practice, protect our profession from third-party intrusions, and push for better dental education and insurance reform. True value comes from advocacy and results, not from superficial discounts. When organized dentistry demonstrates that it is working to protect the profession and help young dentists achieve their goals, they will join in droves.